Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. Happy Thursday. Great to be here with you. My name is Alan. I'll be your host today. CEO of Ice, faculty member for the Fitness Athlete Division, coming at you live from Facebook and live from Instagram this morning for Leadership Thursday, the second best day of the week, right after Fitness Athlete Friday. So today we're talking about the importance of a morning routine. So there's a lot of stuff out there about the importance of being an early riser and getting a lot done. And if you listen to the Jocko podcast at all, you're pretty much a piece of crap if you don't wake up at 4 a.m. according to Jocko, right? So we'll talk about the importance of getting up early, the importance of the morning routine. Super pumped to be heading off to California this weekend, tonight actually, with Mitch. To teach Fitness Athlete Live at Variant Training Lab out in Santa Barbara, California. This weekend we also have the ICE Sampler that's about to start in Las Vegas. So we have our Clinical Excellence certification beginning tomorrow morning for those who are eligible to sit for the exam. And then we have the Sampler this weekend. We also have Out of Network, the next cohort starting this Sunday with Sarah. If you want to sign up, too bad, so sad, already sold out a while ago. The next chance to catch Sarah's course is in July. So what are we talking about today with this morning routine? Maybe you are an early riser, an early bird. Maybe you're not. Maybe you've wondered if it's genetic. And we'll start with that, yes, it is genetic. Yes, it is. There is something scientific going on about whether or not you like to get up in the morning. So great paper that just came out at the end of February in the Nature Communications Journal, a study of 697,828 people. So hats off to the pure science community for doing really top-notch research, huge powered study, really great methodology, looking at, is there an allele in your genetic pattern to be a morning person? Is there a morningness allele? And there is. So this study looked at folks and found that there are night owls, genetic night owls, and there are genetic larks, which is a person that likes to get up and get active early. So this study looked at the data across these 700,000-ish people and found that when we look at the data spread out, the top 5% of those folks who are early risers are awake and going 25 minutes before the bottom 5%. So there is something to be said for the genetic aspect of being an early riser, of being a morning person, that your circadian rhythm can genetically start sooner in the morning than somebody else, up to 25 minutes sooner, right? So the early risers are up and at it 30 minutes before the bottom of that data pool are even, awake. Those people are just starting to waken up their circadian rhythm. They're just starting to come out of deep sleep, while the top 5% are already at it, right? They've been up and moving for 30 minutes already. So there's definitely something to be said for the genetic component of being a morning person. There's a strong genetic link between being a lark, an early riser, or being a night owl, and something in between. So you might not be a morning person genetically, and that's okay, right? I used to believe that if you didn't get up super early that you were a degenerate, and now I understand that there is a spectrum of people, and that as long as you get your productivity in somewhere in the day, that it doesn't matter if you're a night owl or a lark. But you have to work on it, right? Maybe you are that night owl and you wake up later in the day and you start your day later. That just means that your productive time to work on stuff outside of regular job hours is probably going to be later in the evening, right? You still have to be productive, even if you're a night owl. You can't just resign yourself to being a night owl and a lifetime of being not productive, right? I always tell people, you don't have to get up early, but you definitely shouldn't be laying in bed if you have stuff to do, right? You shouldn't be laying in bed on your phone in the evening or the morning, looking at Instagram if you have important stuff to get done. So whether or not you're a lark or a night owl, you need to get after it. But there is that genetic link between being an early riser or not. And understanding that link will better help you understand your schedule. If you're a lark, if you're that early riser, you have to understand that your productive time to work on stuff outside of normal job hours is probably going to be in the morning, right? If you're somebody that gets up at 4:45 or 5, your time to hammer on stuff, maybe you're working on that side hustle, maybe you're working on a project around the house, your productive time is that couple of hours in the morning before you head off to work, right? So make that time in the morning productive. Just because you're an early riser doesn't mean you just sit at the at the kitchen table and drink coffee for a couple hours before you head to work, right? You have to make sure that that morning time that you are genetically gifted is productive time. Likewise, if you're a night owl, your productive time is probably in the evening when you get home from work before you go to bed, knowing that you are going to go to bed a little bit later. Maybe you're going to bed at 10 or 11 or even midnight and getting up around 7 or 8. Your productive time is that couple of hours when you get home from work at 6 or 7 until you go to bed, right? Just because you're a night owl doesn't mean you can stay up watching old episodes of Friends on Netflix until 2 in the morning, right? Your productive time is in the evening, doing your side hustle stuff, doing projects around the house, all that stuff that needs to get done outside of work. That's when your productive time is. So understanding whether you're a lark or a night owl will better understand you getting your schedule. It will also maybe help you schedule better energy-wise your clinic hours if you're in the clinic or whatever your job may be. If you're that night owl, you might be that relief pitcher, right, in the clinic. You might be that person that comes in at 10 and works until 6. That might be a better schedule for you that works better just knowing that you are a natural later riser. Versus the lark, maybe you're that person that's hitting the ground running at 6 or 7 a.m. with patients in the clinic, right? And maybe you're done at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, knowing that you're going to bed earlier, knowing that you need to get home and do your stuff to go to bed early and wake up again the next morning. I like the early morning clinic time, right? There's no one in the clinic usually that early. You can play whatever music you want. Patients always just seem to be much calmer, much more motivated, right? You know, morning people working with morning people. But understand whether you're a lark or a night owl will determine when you should probably be doing the majority of your work. Whether you are starting later, not necessarily second shift, right? You're not going in at 4 p.m. or anything like that, but you may be starting a little bit later at 10 or 11 in the morning and working a little bit later into the evening versus starting earlier, hitting it running. I obviously don't recommend that if you're an early riser that you try to do both and work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. That's not going to get the job done. But understand when your productive time is and also when you're going to kind of feel the best working in the clinic with patients or whatever the majority of your workday is. And whether or not, the third piece I want to touch on, aside from knowing if you're a lark or a night owl and knowing your schedule, is that no matter which one you are, you still need routines, right? You need systems and places. My good friend Billy Galacki said, you know, you're only human. What you do is you set up systems that don't fail you, because as a human, you will fail, right? You will sleep through an alarm. You will sleep through 5 alarms. But what you need to do is have a routine that sets you up for success. Whether or not you're an early riser or not, you need to have a routine. You need to have an evening routine. You need to have a morning routine. It should look a little bit neurotic. I always tell people that if you watch the last and the first hour of my day, you would think that I'm a psychopath, right? I have a methodical routine in the evening when I get home that sets me up for success in the morning, and I have a routine in the morning that sets me up for success the rest of the day, right? When I get home, throw all my dirty clothes from the gym and stuff in the washer, start the wash, eat dinner. As I'm eating dinner, I'm putting my clothes in my bag for the next day that I need to change into. I'm putting all the food I need for the next day into my bag to change into, switching the clothes in the dryer, folding the clothes as I'm eating and taking a shower and getting ready for bed. And then I go through my whole sleep hygiene routine, but it's methodical. I don't just come home and dump my bag and hope to God that I wake up early and that somehow magically I'm ready to roll the next morning when I get up at 4:30 in the morning, right? I have a routine set up, and likewise when I get up in the morning, it's the same thing, right? I get up, I have a little caffeine, I kind of sit around and answer emails for about 15 minutes, just kind of get warmed up. I usually hit my first workout, and then I'm off for the day, whether that's coming here to the clinic in the gym to treat or coach, or whether that's maybe I have a morning of calls or some stuff planned to work for ICE on the computer. But on both the back end and the evening routine and the next day, the morning routine, I have a set routine. It's a ritual. It's stuff I do. It's a system in place, a system that creates habits, and a system that's kind of infallible, right? I haven't overslept an alarm in quite some time. And I'll say, whether you are a lark or a night owl, having that routine and getting up at the same time is your key to success for maybe becoming a morning person. Maybe you want to become a little bit more productive in the morning. Getting up at the same time every day and doing the same thing is what will set you up for success. It will condition your body to getting up, right? You'll find yourself getting up before your alarm even, versus if every time you wake up, it's a different time, right? if you don't have to be to the clinic until a later time on Tuesday, you should not sleep in, right? You should get up at the same time that you have to get up on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You should get up at the same time on the weekend. It sounds kind of grueling to get up that early on Saturday and Sunday when you don't need to, but man, you have, without needing to rush off to work, you have all that much more productive time on Saturday and Sunday morning if you have a couple hours to hammer stuff, knowing that you're getting up earlier and having that extra time in the day. So have that routine in place, stay conditioned to a set sleep and wake schedule, and not only will you feel better getting up earlier, getting up a little bit later, but being on that set schedule will just set your energy levels better for the day, and overall you'll be more productive. So that's all I got to say about that. A lot of people ask me about my morning routine and my night routine, and I do think having a routine is super helpful and having a process. I don't think you have to be a morning person to be a productive human being, but I do think you need those routines in place that set you up for success. So understand that there is a genetic link between being a morning person, a lark, or being an afternoon, evening person, a night owl, so to speak. Understand that will better help you know when to schedule your productive time outside of work, whether that's stuff around the house or side hustle or maybe seeing patients at the CrossFit gym, whatever you're doing outside of work or doing your training, your exercise training, and understand that then having that schedule in place will help you better set a morning routine and an evening routine to set you up for success before you go to bed each night that will then set you up for success when you wake up in the morning. So happy to talk about this. Again, I switched my stance a lot on this. I used to think if you didn't wake up super early, that you were a piece of garbage, but I certainly understand now that people wake and sleep at different times, and that the important thing is that you have a system in place that even though you are human and you are fallible, you have an infallible system in place that will keep you on time, keep you moving throughout the day, right? So it's all about systems. Sometimes people ask me, like, what do you do at ICE? Well, I create systems all day long, right? I create systems that do work for us, ideally automatically, right? So creating systems and having a system in place for different things is a great way to keep your productivity high throughout the day, jumping back and forth between different things in our busy lives as we tend to be. So try that out. Happy to talk about this some more. Love talking about morning routines, and yeah, I basically fix Zach and Mitch's screw-ups all day long. That's what I get paid to do. It's beyond a full-time job. So that's all I got for you guys. If you're not coming to the sampler, if you're not coming to Fitness Athlete Live in Santa Barbara, follow along on ICE social media. We'll have 8 faculty out in Las Vegas, so there'll be a lot of stuff coming out on social media this weekend. So make sure you're following ICE on Facebook and Instagram for that. Mitch and I will be posting some stuff too from Santa Barbara as well. Make sure you have signed up for a Hump Day Hustling email yet. If you haven't, free email every Wednesday morning. 5 research articles and social media posts that the ICE faculty have curated for you over the past week, free to your inbox every Wednesday morning, totally free, spam free, just another thing we do to help get content out to you guys. If you're interested in learning a little bit more but not ready yet to commit to a course, consider checking out Virtual ICE, $30 a month, 1 discussion a week for an hour, 24 CEUs. You can sign up for that on ptice.com as well. Your next chance to catch Mitch and I for Fitness Athlete Live, actually not me, I'm not going to either of these courses. Your next chance to catch Mitch and Zach for Fitness Athlete Live is the same weekend. These guys have done it again. They've booked a course on the same weekend. Mitch will be in Victoria, British Columbia with Sarah on May 4th and 5th, and Zach will be in Portland, Oregon on May 4th and 5th as well. And then we have Modern Managing the Older Adult starting June 9th online. Our next Essentials cohort is June 3rd, and our next Advanced cohort is May 6th. So tons of stuff ramping up for this spring, summer. Super happy to get out to see some of you guys on the road, to talk to you guys online in our different courses, and get out this information out to you guys. So have a great weekend. Mitch will be here tomorrow with Fitness Athlete Friday. He's going to talk about the CrossFit off-season. What does that mean? What does that look like for CrossFitters? So join him here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern for Fitness Athlete Friday. I'll see some of you in person in Santa Barbara, and I'll follow along with the ICE sampler with you guys online with social media this weekend. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.